Hey, gang. Dr. G, the Imaginarium. Welcome back to Mental Health Mondays. It's Friday. So I came across a real doozy that I wanted to share with you. There I were, cruising the interwebs, and I came across a meme that said, worrying about what other people think is like giving them permission to put you in self imposed shackles. Dare to be different. So, where do I start? I hate this kind of stuff. And what I'd like to share with you is my thoughts about why these sorts of messages and memes are complete waste of time. And in fact, they're just total garbage. Number one, this is just promoting more hyper individualism. This is something we do not need on the Western world, and yet we do it constantly anyway. Go your own way. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. To heck with everybody else. Do your own thing. Follow your own path. Choose your own destiny. Choose your own adventure. Choose your own poison. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so number two, we are social animals. There is nothing wrong with worrying about what other people think. There's some caveats here, and we'll get into that. But just in general, worrying about what other people think is just part of being human. And this is a whole lot like saying, I'm hungry and I want to eat. But you know what? That's giving food control over me. And I don't want that. I want to choose my own path and starve to death. It's stupid. It's absolutely dumb. Not to mention, it's also extremely vague. Should I never think about what other people think? Like, ever? But what if I decided to do this? I have patients. Well, Dr. G, this medication is giving me side effects. I'm not sure if it's the right one. Well, I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care what your thoughts and feelings are. I'm going to do what I want to do. It's so stupid. And what if I did this with my colleagues? Dr. G, we've got a concern that you're giving all your patients 27 milligrams of Ativan every day. Well, I don't care what you guys think. I'm going to forge my own destiny in this world. No, that doesn't work. Um, if you are worrying, this is another problem I have with this. If you are worrying, it's just blaming you for being stupid. Essentially, that's what they're implying. It's not fair. So here's my remedy for this kind of stuff. When you see this, first of all, know it for what it is, garbage, and then go from there to, okay, I'm feeling worry. I'm worrying that someone else, is thinking A, B, or C about me. So maybe it's something like, well, what if they don't like me? I say, okay, what if they don't like you? What does that entail exactly? Are you likable? Yes or no, right? You have criteria that you determine whether someone else is likable. You apply to that as well. What does a likable person do, right? Think about this in the same way we do the self-esteem exercise. Have you given enough to that person? How much is enough? Right? Very important questions. You get to decide how much is enough, right? Is what I give to them fair? Do I get enough in return, right? I get to decide these things. The point I'm trying to make here is that you should not be shamed because you worry about what other people think. It's part of what we do as a species, okay? There's nothing wrong with it. Instead, it should be an opportunity for you to examine what your feelings are and exactly why. So if you have a worry about this, don't just follow the automatic knee jerk reaction and be defensive or angry or fretting and wringing your hands and oh my gosh, panicking, et cetera, et cetera. So okay, let's step back for a second. I'm worrying about what this other person thinks about me. Number one, does it matter really what they think of me? Is it going to have some kind of consequence? And and many times people will say, well, I'm worried it might cause A, B, and C. Okay, well then you have to get in there and you say, well, how likely is that to actually happen? So try to be realistic about this. This is a CBT-ish exercise. But then on the other hand, too, if it's something more vague, like, oh, I'm worried they don't like me, that's when you get into the other part of this. When I said, are you likable? What does that mean if I'm likable? Exactly how do I know? And and you're allowed to share these thoughts and feelings with people that you trust and get their advice on it, right? Talk to other people, right? Don't try to do this all on your own. We were never meant to do everything all of on our own, despite what our constant media messages like this coming from supposed mental health advice columns and uh, LinkedIn pages and so forth and so on. They just share this kind of crap, and people knee jerk respond on the comments like, yes, this is so true, blah, 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 blah. No, you want everybody in the whole world to act like this? Because no, you don't. Okay, what we're going to have is a world of total chaos, right? And you could kind of argue maybe that's where we're headed. But the point is, this kind of advice is too vague to be of any use. It further promotes hyper individualism. It shames people for feeling the way they feel without actually offering any sort of solution, without offering any sort of guidepost on like how to deal with this. Instead of just stop. Well, gee whiz, why didn't I think of that? Anyway, that's my Mental Health Mondays for you today. Tune in next Friday for another Mental Health Mondays. And if you're wondering why I do it like that, well, what's life without a little whimsy? Catch you next time.